Ah, Hello and good morning to you, or good evening, or good afternoon, depending on where you are. Today, recording this video is March 8th, 2018. It is my day 1.300, which means 1 year and 300 days into taking hormones, if you're curious. My hope is this video will be a little informational. If you're new to my channel, I tried to make a video every couple days since I started hormones, so that's why there's like 500 videos at this point, because there's a lot of time that passes throughout this process. And my short goal for doing this was informational for myself, but also to add a little bit of the tiny details that sometimes get lost. If you do a YouTube search for transition MTF, I found I would find a lot of videos that was like a music video, very inspirational, my transition in 30 seconds, and I really wanted more detail. So that's the short of it. So what's up? I have at this point 21 days. I will be having GCS, which is awesome. And yesterday was, I've already had 2 consults with my surgeon. So yesterday, I actually had, let me adjust the video here, the monitor. Yesterday I actually had a pre-surgical appointment. And I was told that because of, I'm going to say my age, I'm not a spring chicken, as you might guess. They just wanted to make sure everything was okay, ask me some questions, etc. So I just want to share this information for someone who might be curious. Well, what happens leading up to surgery? Maybe demystify it a little bit and add some details. So to begin with, they gave me this little tote, which I am going to use as my probably when I go to the hospital. They gave me stuff in the tote, which we're going to go over. Okay, item by this thing is full. It was full. I took everything out because I'm going to go through it item by item. But this is going to be my hospital overnight bag. So I'm very, very happy to have that because I didn't really have something I could use. Okay, so I'm having my surgery at Indiana University Hospital, okay, which is Indiana University Hospital, and they gave me a packet with a lot of information here. Excuse me, dears. I have some cats who might try to get in the way. But this was really, they've already given me a folder, which I'm not going to go into. This video is just about my visit yesterday. But in the guide here, it just talks a little bit about things you might need to know to make your, okay, one cat in my lap. Talked about things you can do to make your stay at the hospital, lost and found, things wireless or whatnot. Talked a little bit about visitors, who can come, who cannot come, hours, and really just basic, really nice general information about the hospital, how you order food, stuff about religious stuff, a chapel, and how to get there. There's People Mover. There's also parking. This is just really good general information that I like. It's good to know. Okay. They gave me a check sheet, which will go down here. Kind of long. It's a legal 8.5 by 14 sheet of paper, it looks like. And a checklist of things. And, you'd be like, well, my surgery is 21 days. It's 3 weeks from now. Why am I worried about this now? Well, because there's stuff I got to do right now, today. And you know what? You could do it too if you really wanted to. It says here, she went over this with me. Things you can do right away. Circulation, talked about increasing your activity and ideally, if you increase your activity, you decrease your chance of pneumonia. And so it's one of those things. Start walking. Now, because of my weight loss, I kind of gave up doing exercise to lose weight, which doesn't sound like it would work, but it did for me. But still, I will start to do a little bit of exercise every day just to get my blood going a little bit. A little start, a little like 5-minute walk. Okay. She talked about breathing, and this, to me, I've had surgery before, and the nurse didn't talk to me about breathing, and you might have seen these things before, but it's a way of measuring the volume of your breath, and so she said, yes, today, 3 weeks ahead, twice a day I have to do this thing, where you breathe into it. Okay, and it raises a volume of air, and you have to hold your breath. It monitors how, gives you an estimate on how much you want to take and how quickly. And then the volume and holding it as a way of strengthening your lungs to deal with, to prevent you from having pneumonia or fluid in your lungs, which I guess is pneumonia. But again, to do that today, and then once I have my surgery, every hour that I am awake, I have to do it 10 times, okay? And so again, I didn't know I had to do this. It's kind of cool. It was in my tote. She talked about nutrition, which, again, for me, weight loss was a big issue, and it's a whole other video. I think the USDA is a bit of an inside thing. The Food and Drug Administration is there to help encourage you to eat a variety of foods, but it gets a lot of money from meat producers, and that's okay. But again, for your surgery, it says here, you may, if you've lost some weight recently without trying, begin a nutrition drink to get nutrients inside of you. And she said to me the most important thing was protein. And of course, you think protein, you're like, animal protein, I got to eat chicken or whatnot. Well, there's more protein in broccoli than steak. So, consider that. But again, as long as I can maintain I don't gain a bunch of weight, I will start to eat a little bit of meat. And I'm not anti-meat. It's just to lose my weight, I had to become vegan. And so I don't want to mess up my weight, because if I gain too much weight, then I can't have surgery. So it's counterproductive. But back in the eye of nutrition, and to get your body ready, they gave me, this was in my tote too, these little drink boxes, okay? And inside of it, it's called Advanced Recovery Immunonutrition Drink, okay? This is made by Nestle, but I don't think you could go to your grocery store and buy it. But basically, it is a way of providing your body some nutrients and whatnot that you don't normally get, or you might get from a variety of foods specifically. And they gave a little pamphlet here on what it is, because you'd be like, why the heck do I have to drink this? Special nutrients include, and I might mess this up, arginine, and then fish oil and nucleotides are found in foods. However, you would have to eat a lot of these foods, so you're getting a condensed vehicle to get what you need here. And you drink 3 cartons for 5 days before your surgery. So again, I've had surgeries before, and I've never had to do this. But it says here the 3 ingredients help increase blood flow to your wound and support your immune system, help to manage inflammation, and help to rebuild your cells. So again, why wouldn't you, if you had access to this, why wouldn't you do it? Okay, so that was in my little tote too, this little box of 15. The other thing that was in there was a special soap to use the day before, and I think the day of. Let me just refresh my memory. It's all on this little sheet. Do this 1 to 2 days before your surgery and the morning of your surgery. Okay. Special soap that will, I guess, kills germs. I don't care why it works. I'll do it. And then the last thing on here talks about G-Series Gatorade, I guess because it has sugar in it. And she said that they used to tell people, not to have anything to eat or drink after midnight the day before the night before your surgery. And she said that the problem with that is people were coming in dehydrated, not having the essential nutrients or whatnot to get them through that first day. And so it makes sense to hydrate yourself with things you might lose. So to me, I mean, a lot of very well thought out ideas. And then other things in the packet were really just how to flavor your little drink if you wanted to make it taste different. It's vanilla. I don't have an issue with vanilla. I wouldn't care if it tasted like garlic. I'm going to do it. And then information on the soap. The other thing that she did that I thought was really, really cool, this was in my packet too, was a map of the inside of the hospital and where I go the day of my surgery. It's very easy to say, oh, go to pre-surgery admission, but she sat there and she drew in front of me the circle. Now you go here first and then you go there second. And I thought that was really, really good. And talked about parking and everything too. And then a slight pamphlet, don't drop it, about managing your pain, okay, about to get yourself ready and how to say, oh, my pain is a 5, or, what face, but also talked about different ways of pain management, which again, I can remember from a previous surgery on my ankle. I think most of this information I got then, but at that time I was whacked out of my mind on anesthesia and I couldn't think straight. And so it's nice to have all this information in print. And she went over each page with me, but I also have it here and I took really good notes. And the last thing they told me was how to use my little air thingy. So a lot of good information that I think probably could be applicable to anyone, anywhere, with any surgery, but definitely helped me out. So specifically, that's kind of the spectrum of the content that I received, but I just want to talk about what happened. Okay, when I got to the hospital, I registered, and it almost sounded like they were going to keep me, but they administered me because they're going to do stuff to me. And then the first person that came did your basic triage. How are you? What's your blood pressure? What's your temperature? What's your oxygen? And I knew that I couldn't have fake nails because it was in the write-up, the literature before I went. You have to have at least one finger that does not have acrylic nails or nail polish. Okay, so can you imagine what a pain? I'm not flipping you off. What a pain in the butt it would be to get there and then say, oh, I'm sorry, I can't take your oxygen because you have acrylic nails on. You'd be like, but that was in the literature they sent me before. So like I said, I think they really did a good job of telling me what I needed to know. But so basic triage, and then she, asked me if I had any questions and gave me kind of a brief overview of what was going to happen. It was like at the start of A Christmas Carol, you'll be visited by 3 registered nurses, and they will ask you questions. And so she left, and then the next one came in, and she went over my history, asked me lots of questions, asked me and I brought all my medication with me. And she went over everything with me and then talked about what I would need to stop and on what day. And she gave me a write-up of it, but while I was taking notes, I put it on my planner, okay? What day do I stop taking my estrogen? What day do I stop taking my progesterone? What day do I stop taking, I take a fish oil supplement as well as a multivitamin, and that has to stop too, because it's messing with your blood, So very, very thorough. Very, very thorough. And then after she left, another nurse came in, and she had the little tote with her and all the groovy stuff. And she went down the sheet that I had, the long sheet, and went over every item with me, asked me other questions, and because of my history and whatnot, they decided I an EKG. I didn't need, I think they're mostly concerned with your heart and your lungs because of the anesthesia. And so each one of them asked me each time, do you have any breathing issues? Do you have asthma? Do you smoke? Do you use a CPAP machine? All these things. And so really good questions. And then she said, well, we're done here. I will take you. You don't have anything else you have to do today. So we'll take you to the blood area, the blood drawing, and they'll take some blood and some urine, and then you'll be done. I was like, hooray, because they didn't weigh me. And so then I went to a different area, and it was a third person I was with who asked me questions and drew my blood, and I gave a urine sample, and I was done. And that was it. And I really was worried that they were going to weigh me, but I knew going into it that my weight was okay. I had to weigh, the cutoff for me is 220. That's my 30 BMI for my height is 220, and that was the cutoff point. And I knew that morning when I woke up I was 219, so I was under the cut. But it's one of those things, our fears, can make it much worse. Well, what if you're way over and they're not going to see you, or they're going to cancel your surgery, or, and that, my friends, is it in a nutshell. That was my visit. I was done. And, being where I was I took advantage of the afternoon, and I went to, the hotel, that I've booked for my surgery, and I also did some driving just to familiarize myself with the city. I really had never been in it on the streets before, and I found where the closest Walmart is, so that we can get food and whatnot. I will be in the hospital for 3 days, and then they're going to release me, and I have to stay in the area for 5 more days. And so my mom's flying out to take care of me and my daughter. And I want to make sure they have food. And it's a nice suite. It's like a little miniature apartment, because we're going to be 3 people for 5 days on each other, stepping on each other's toes. We want lots of area. And that's it. What's up next? What's the next step? My surgeon will send me a packet. I think they were waiting on this just in case I had to get an EKG done, or there was some flag that said, Karen has diabetes, she doesn't know it. Karen has a blood problem, she doesn't know it. So I guess there's still a chance things may fold, but shit, they gave me the tote and the stuff, so I'm thinking everything's going to work out. It's just a waiting game, and I'll get the packet in the mail, the second packet, and that'll have the instructions as far as when to drink the citrus nut. I call it citrus nitrate, but that's not it. The stuff that makes you poop to clear out, that's coming. I already have the script for it, and she told me that's what I was going to have to do, and that's why we got the hotel a day earlier, so I can go up there and drink the fluid and I guess poop my brains out. Be near a bathroom. And that is it. And so, as you might imagine, as I drove home yesterday, I was relieved. I was very thankful, and somewhat amazed that this is going to happen. It's not amazed, but we're down to it. I got to start breathing and exercising a little more and changing my diet a little bit, monitor my weight, because I can't weigh more than 220 or they won't have my surgery. Now, from what I gather, this isn't going to be like a horse race where they're going to weigh me the day of, but they might. And so I will do my best to maintain the weight loss. If you don't know, I had to lose about 126 pounds and I did that in about a year. And so it's very important that I do not gain weight. And my body, I can promise you, is itching to gain weight. And I disagree with the system, but it's the way it is, and I abide by the rules. I definitely want to have GCS. But this body is not made to be. This body is not made to have a BMI of 30, okay? No. I am doing everything I can to keep it 30 or less, but naturally, no. It may be statistically possible on paper that this body is less than 30, but it's not its natural state, and it's no way to live. But that's a whole other story for a whole other video. So yes, we do what we have to do. We jump through the hoops we have to do. And it's definitely for our own benefit. We'll heal better. We'll have better results. There's less of a risk if we're 30 or less. So you won't get any argument from me today. And that is it. So on that note, I wish everyone good luck. I hope you'll stay tuned. To be continued. Story is not over yet. And if you are journeying on this, if you're traveling on this journey, I wish you the best of luck in your transition. And I certainly wish you the best of luck in becoming whatever version of yourself you want to be as you define yourself. Okay. All right. Till next time, bye and good luck.